Hello, I'm Sophie Day. My author name is Sophie Knight, and I want to tell you a little about a project that has taken years of lived experience, healing, and honesty to bring into the world. My book is called Autism and ADHD Employment, My Trials and Triumphs. It's a journey of resilience and advocacy. It's not a traditional memoir, and it's not meant to be. It's intentionally non-linear because my mind, like many autistic minds, doesn't move neatly from A to B. It loops, revisits, reframes, and processes in layers. This book reflects that. It's a mosaic of emails, poems, reflections, and advocacy pieces. Each format captures something different: the logic, the emotion, the survival instinct, the grief, the resilience, and the constant translation work autistic people do just to be understood. Some sections are formal emails I wrote to senior leaders, the kind of more structured, careful communication autistic people often rely on when spoken words fail or when we need to advocate for ourselves in systems that weren't built with us in mind. These emails show the reality of trying to challenge bias, request reasonable adjustments, or simply correct misinformation in environments where our directness is misread as perhaps even aggression. Alongside those emails, you'll find poetry. Poetry became the place where I could express the parts of the story that don't fit neatly into professional language: the confusion, the heartbreak, the gaslighting, the moments of hope, and the stubborn refusal to disappear. These poems sit next to social media style posts and intranet messages because that's also part of the story, the way we reshape our experience into something palatable, something educational, something that might protect someone else from going through the same thing. The book covers some incredibly difficult experiences: workplace bullying, gaslighting, disciplinary actions, and the emotional toll of being told that senior management hates you. It includes the reality of a 2-year final warning and the mental health crisis that followed. It talks openly about eating disorder recovery, PTSD, rejection sensitive dysphoria, and the long road back to feeling safe again. But it's not just a book about trauma. It's a book about advocacy, about the moment I realized that if I didn't speak up, nothing would change. Not for me and not for anyone who came after me. It's about pushing for trauma-informed workplaces, neurodivergence affirming leadership, and better training for managers. It's about intersectionality, being autistic, having ADHD, belonging to the LGBTQIA plus cohort, being a mother, and how those identities shape the way we're treated and the way we survive. It's also a book about creativity, because alongside the written work, I've created something else: a musical. Yes, a musical. It's called Sofie the Musical. As it links to songs on my YouTube channel, I feel that book is best accessed through Kindle, but both books are available in paperback and hardback. It follows the same storyline as the book, but in musical form. I took many of the poems from the book and rewrote them into lyrics. And with the help of AI, those lyrics were given melody and voice. It's another way of telling the same truth, because sometimes music reaches places that words alone can't. Across both the book and the musical, you'll find themes of resilience, forgiveness, and the power of being seen. One of the quotes that threads through the book is, "Healing isn't linear, and neither is strength." Another is, "Autistic professionals are often easy to isolate, not because we're weak, but because we're different." If any of this resonates with you, if you're autistic, have ADHD, or are otherwise strongly neurodivergent, or if you're just a survivor of workplace trauma, or simply someone who wants to understand these experiences more deeply, then this book is for you. And if you're someone who connects through music, then the musical might speak to you in a different way. My hope is that by sharing my story in all its forms, structured, poetic, messy, emotional, and honest, I can help others feel less alone and maybe even spark change in the places that need it most. I want to be clear that this isn't about any specific employer. In fact, the events in the book happened within a wonderful organization that I still care about deeply. I had wonderful colleagues nationwide, people I genuinely valued. This isn't a story about who or where. It's about what autistic people can face in the workplace. People write openly about surviving prison, yet very few talk about receiving a final warning at work. It's treated as a taboo, something wrapped in shame, and the consequences can be devastating. Some people become so overwhelmed by workplace disciplinaries that they can't see a way through. That's exactly why we must talk about this. When I was a Unite rep, every single disciplinary I supported involved either a neurodivergent colleague and or someone from an ethnic minority background. That pattern isn't incidental. It deserves scrutiny. And there's a wider contradiction here. We work in an industry that champions rehabilitation over punishment for the people it serves, yet it routinely issues 2-year final warnings when ACAS recommends 1. That doesn't reduce the likelihood of a repeat misdemeanor or mistake. It simply doubles the psychological toll. And just because your competitor does the same thing doesn't make it right. So I talk about it, the impact, the mental health toll, the shame and the silence around it, because naming it is the first step toward changing it. Thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting this work. It means more than you know. And if you really can't afford to buy the book, message me and I will send it to you. Thank you.